Okay, thanks everyone. I'm John Armstrong. I'm the newly appointed President and Chief Operating Officer of North Arrow Minerals. So I'm probably the shortest term employee of anybody sitting in the room. I've been in the job 8 days. So the exciting part about this talk is that we're all going to hear it for the first time, including myself, right? So what is North Arrow? North Arrow is a junior Canadian exploring company, gold exploration, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange. Formerly had a life as a diamond explorer in Canada, and we all know how that part of the business has gone. So focusing now on gold exploration in southern Botswana. Banded iron formation hosted gold is the target. We have a 724 square kilometer project area in southern Botswana with 65 kilometers of strike length of the northern extent of the Kraaipan Greenstone Belt. So that's the focus. What's the deal? Well, there's been 1 year of activity. So we're going to talk about if I show up at your doorstep and I have a drill intersection 30 meters of 1.6 grams. We have other areas with surface samples of up to 36 grams per ton. Recent sampling, 8 grams per ton, 10 grams per ton. Another area with 500 meters of strike length where we have surface samples ranging from 3 to 6 grams per ton in altered banded iron formation. Exposed at surface, a 2-hour drive from Gaborone. Easy to access. You can drive your Polo rental right up on the outcrop and start exploring. In terms of the team, there's myself. I have a long experience in Botswana. I spent 10 years there with Lucara Diamond Corp at the Kraaipan Diamond Mine. Ira Thomas, one of the founders of North Arrow, who's currently the CEO, was a founder of Lucara. Has spent over 15 years working in Southern Africa. So we understand what Botswana is about. We understand the opportunity in Botswana, and personally, I'm thrilled to be back working in Botswana. But I think the thing here that focuses on is that we have a long history of working in Botswana recently, and again, are quite pleased to be back. The target area, we have the 60 to 65 kilometers of a highly prospective greenstone belt that's seen limited exploration. Why? Because most of it's under sand cover. What are we doing about that? Well, the exploration techniques that we were deploying at the moment involve using a proprietary fixed-wing drone survey. We can rapidly acquire high-quality magnetic data. One drone can do up to 1,000 line kilometers a day survey. We have access through our option partner known as Rockman. It's a private company. They have a drill-mounted RC rig that we deployed over the last year in terms of running the program. So the idea, we're going to run through this really quick, is obviously we all know the Cap-Vel Craton has a proud history and an extremely strong metallogenic history of a variety of different ore deposits and mines that far outnumber what you see in Botswana. The geology is the same as the Cap-Vel extends up into Botswana. What's the difference? Well, the difference, of course, is the sand cover and how one's going to deal with the sand cover. And I think the execution of the program over last year demonstrated proof of concept that using the UAV data and using the RC rig, you can rapidly go through the area, create a geochem data set, and obviously the success of that program outlined 6 areas of interest that we'll start with follow-up here. Next week, the drone will be back up flying. So I don't have a pointer, but the Kraaipan Greenstone Belt. So the analogy that we're using is obviously Harmony Gold's Cal Gold Mine, about 40 kilometers to the south of where our property starts. And I just want people to focus in on the grades there, sitting around circa 1 gram per ton. It's been producing gold for over 30 years. This is the high quality mag data that one wants to see out of the UAV that we use for interpretation. An image of the truck mounted RC rig. So what happened last year in the option agreement, North Arrow spent 1.2 million US dollars, flew 20,000 line kilometers of high resolution mag data at 20 meter line spacing, drilled 175 holes, just shy of 5,000 meters of drilling. Identified a number of areas worthy of follow-up, which I'll walk through here now. In terms of the option agreement, North Arrow, to get 60% of the project, is required to spend US $5 million. By the end of 2026, we'll be more than 3/4 of our way to achieving that part of the option agreement, and we can go to 80% by completing a PEA. So these are the 6 areas of interest. That's an image. The picture is Ira Thomas, who's the CEO, with Manalisi, one of the project geologists, with 2 of the fixed-wing drone platforms. And again, like I said, Manny would operate these 2 drones beyond visual line of sight, 1,000 kilometers of line data a day. So it's a pretty significant advancement. So there's the headline hit at the bottom, target A. In the southern part of the area in red would be our interpreted extent of the greenstone, and in particular the banded iron formation. So it's 30 meters or 1.6 grams in target A. We'll talk about that. Other areas of interest, target AE and target AF, with some interesting numbers. But I think what I'll show you here now is even more interesting is the fact that in this particular area there is some outcrop, there is some subcrop, minimal sand cover, and you can do some prospecting and you can find some interesting material on surface. Here's AE. I'll go through this quite quickly. It's a 1.25 gram grab sample from surface, a line of vertical RC holes. The design criteria here was to look and understand depth of sand and see if there's any anomalous numbers. We can see 0.4 grams a ton over 13 meters in the vicinity of this 1 gram sample. The crews have gone back in the field already this year and are exploring along that limb of the fold structure and picking up some samples as they go. Here we are at target AF. So that dashed line represents about 500 meters of potential strike length. And along that, picking up samples ranging up to 6.5 grams a ton from subcrop mineralized material. There was a line of RC holes that went to the west in the vicinity of the middle one there at 3.65 grams per ton. It wasn't really designed to test underneath that 3.6 gram sample. This year we will put a hole underneath there. We'll put some inclined holes through this area and continue the prospecting. So here we have 500 meters of potential strike length of interesting numbers. This is target A. It has been the focus of work by previous operators. There is some outcrop and there is some subcrop in this area. KR 25157 is the hole with 30 meters of 1.6 grams, the southernmost hole drilled in this particular vicinity, and it's about 2 kilometers to the south of AE and AF. The numbers are kind of tiny on here, but there's no way I could read them from here anyway, but I've got them memorized. So there is there's a 36 gram historical number toward the bottom of the box. Recent sampling by Rockman over the last couple of years, 8 gram samples, 10 gram samples at surface. We have this drill hole. This is obviously where we're going to go back in the beginning of March and start our drilling. And what we see here, the thickness of the line does not imply anything about the thickness of potential mineralization there, but it gives us an idea of the potential strike length. There's 700 meters. It goes under the sand to the north, and it goes under the sand to the south. But again, this is an area where we've done more recent prospecting. I visited the project in November, and that was my main takeaway, was that we could spend an awful lot of time here walking around and banging rocks and getting some interesting results. So what's going to move the dial here coming up? Obviously, like I said, there's a couple of things in terms of news flow. North Arrow is in the process of closing a Canadian $4 million financing. That should close today. It was oversubscribed substantially. Everybody got hacked back in their ask of share purchases. The financing was done at 24 cents, and you can see that we closed yesterday at 42 cents. So everyone's done quite well with that financing. What's going to happen in terms of news flow? Announce the financing closure. We'll announce the initiation of the 2026 work program, which will constitute about just shy of $2 million of expenditure. And like I said, by the end of 2026, we'll be pushing over 3/4 of our way to achieving 60% ownership in the property. The drilling will start at target A. The image that you see on the screen there is target A. This picture was taken in November. In a few months, it's going to be awfully brown there, but you can drive your truck right onto it. Gives you an idea of some of the material that's exposed on surface, and just starting to get covered by the sand. And prior to early March, we'll announce what the program is going to look like for 2026. But I can say that by the third quarter, we should also be doing core drilling and moving away from the RC drilling. This just runs through the nature of the option agreement with Rockman. In terms of, I should also mention that Rockman is the operator at the moment. It's a group of extremely intelligent geologists who have spent a lot of time working in this part of the world, or born and raised in this part of the world. So in terms of bench strength for North Arrow, we rely on them. In my background, everyone thinks I'm a diamond guy, but I spent the early part of my career crawling around the gold mines of northern Canada in Yellowknife and Red Lake, and I did my doctorate thesis on the mineralization at Red Lake, so I'm well suited for understanding gold systems. And this just is the share structure.
Well done, John. Round of applause for John. Thank you so much. excellent job, John. Please give John a huge round of applause. Thank you so much for that presentation and for the John.